puppy excuse because he's peed at my mom's shop a couple of times, and you can't be mad at him.
She has a shop?
Yeah, she has a shop in downtown Hendersonville.
Flowers?
Gift shop with. She's a lifelong florist, but I think the moneymaker is tchotchkes and gifts.
Okay. What's tchotchkes?
Tchotchkes are knickknacks.
Okay, yeah.
She says like pottery and costume jewelry, but it's tchotchkes, like a fun word.
Yeah, I think I remember that material, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
I guess that was like almost maybe pre-COVID since I heard you talk about like delivering flowers.
Delivering flowers, yeah. That's
thick legs and like before all the jobs.
Before all the jobs, and now I don't have to ever have any family material ever again because I'm full up on job material. I don't even know what goes on outside of jobs.
Really?
Well, you sort of wish that you're like a little, I don't know. I wish I was a little better at like, I don't know, current event comedy.
Like news and stuff?
I'm very put off by the Donald Trump era, like in a way where it's like I don't like that kind of comedy. I don't think I'm well informed enough to write like a bit that's like better than other people's bit about Donald Trump. And so it's like, is there other aspects of the current culture that I could write about? And I think when you write, I think writing what you know and writing the specifics of what you know does get you to a pretty interesting place that probably ties in with major cultural themes anyway, and you don't really have to talk about stuff that people don't want to talk about.
It seems better, and it seems less divisive to be like, here's my experience, and you can hint at those big things, but you're not taking a stand. I feel like taking a stand on the presidency and stuff is like kind of just makes a lot of people not want to go with you to do a lot of Southern shows.
Why is this guy a trustworthy narrator?
Yeah, and sometimes it's like this guy's 20 years younger than me and he's from Asheville.
Yeah.
What the fuck's he gonna tell me about?
Yeah. But the nice thing is, like, I think you and Ryan Brown talked about it, like the older you get, the closer you are. Like I'm closer to a 55-year-old than I was when I was like 20. And so like, I'm in a better position to let that fly out. I'm in a better position to relate to everybody now that I am middle-aged-ish.
Yeah, you're like mid-30s, right?
Mid-30s, 36.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's and that's something that I started to realize in the geriatric unit of the mental hospital, where it's like, oh, these aren't grandmas.
Yeah.
She has an AC/DC t-shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of know some of the same things.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I'm up there if she's up there.
Yeah, I did one in Banner Elk with Jeremy Alder a few weeks ago, and I was a little surprised that usually I can do pretty well with like an older conservative crowd, but I don't know if I've just been going to the Odd more or it was just more remote, but I felt a little like, oh, I should have dialed back I think I did come off a little bit like Mr. Asheville.
Yeah.
And I should have like maybe ordered things a little differently or something like that. Even just being like I gave my kid Spotify access, some new things like that, where it's like, oh, that's kind of blank stares. Like there still are some things that I'm like Spotify is kind of.
What is Banner Elk like though? I don't know. At a certain point, you do.
Retired Floridian, Southern, old, and usually there's enough like kids and how about the fucking getting older? But then it's like sometimes when I talk about getting older, they get a little mad at me. Like you're a baby, you're not old, and it's like okay, I need to frame that in a way that's like I don't just come out and be like we're all old, and they're like fuck you, you're not.
Well, what are their cultural touchstones? What kind of comedy do they like? That's something that I would like maybe not tease. I would be antagonistic about when I was younger. Do you think it's picking up?
There's dogs next door that might start yelling at us too. Okay. He's probably like
preemptive.
Yeah, I noticed Jeremy got up and right when he watched. He had the benefit of like when me and Ryan Brown did that show for those rich people. I got to watch him for 30 minutes and like modify everything. You know? So Jeremy did that with me, and the first thing he said when he got up, he's like, Ryan's a smart guy. I'm dumb. I was homeschooled. My parents, and they were like, yeah. I was like, okay, that let me know that he picked up that I did go a little hard on like Mr. Glasses, like
Well, that's not your fault. That's so like I mean, you got to hold the audience responsible at a certain point where it's like, okay, let's not bring all of your prejudices to comedy night, Mr. Glasses.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it felt a little. Yeah.
Spotify, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Next joke, please.
Yeah, or like, hey, how about this AI? And they're just like, what?
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and they're like, no.
Well, that's nice that there's little time capsules around America where people aren't experiencing the future and all its negative impacts, I guess.
Do you find that there's like in Cincinnati or the shows you're doing, do you find yourself recurring with a certain demographic or age group? Like, is it a Midwest, middle age, conservative, liberal?
So there's the two comedy clubs that I get to work at. There's, I would say two and a half. I'm sorry if anybody listens to this. There's like two. We are a comedy club. We are a brick and mortar comedy club that I get to work at. And then there's the Comet, which is like a taco shop that has like Friday and Saturday shows, which is essentially a comedy club. So out at Go Bananas, some people refer to them as hillbillies, even though it's the suburbs. And my friend Blake says that it's like a knife fight, which is like a thing I keep in mind when I go out there. So it's like maybe we don't have the same political leanings, but you can sort of fight with them a little bit. And then in Northern Kentucky at Commonwealth Comedy Club, which is right over the river, right over the Ohio River, it's like a string of like gentrified small towns, like river towns have all become.
Is that the Commonwealth?
Yeah, it's Commonwealth Comedy Club. That's in Dayton, Kentucky. But there's like, so it's like Covington, Newport, Bellevue, and Dayton. They're all just sort of like quaint, small little, a little more young than Hendersonville, but just sort of that vibe of like, we're trying to keep all of us simultaneously are trying to keep our small businesses alive, and it is being benefited by the fact that at a certain point, probably living across the river from Cincinnati instead of in Cincinnati is a little cheaper for young people. So like it sort of, there is like a little bit of lifeblood. In terms of like those shows that are like, I did Banner Elk recently. I think one of the benefits of staying in a certain comedy scene for a long time is that you get asked to do like these weird shows that aren't run by anybody you know.
Yeah, they just happen to be 2 hours away on the periphery of your culture.
Ryan Cox, like Jeremy Alder knows you're probably closer than however he got the gig.
He's got material. He can be cleanish. You know, there's really not a lot of people that...
Yeah, you were picked for a certain reason, but also who ran it?
He'll be a little too smart that I can use that to...
Yeah, I think he set you up. Well, I
felt that way about Ryan Brown on that show. I was Ryan like, Brown, it's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna learn from your shit and do a little better. Like,
and you trust him, and it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I saw Ryan at Third Room on Wednesday night, and it is like the host didn't know him, and she was like very worried about him because he was like pacing back and forth, and she's like, look how nervous he is, and we were like, he's not nervous.
Yeah, that's just...
he's like good at comedy, and he is good at comedy, and even though he got like a worse spot in the show, it is like such a comfort to see somebody who's like joke, good night sort of thing, not like sprawling that way like a new Asheville comic can be. And
he's professional, and there is that disconnect now where you have like new hosts coming in, and somebody like Ryan or me might only kind of be at that mic like half the time. Mm-hmm. So it's like, who is this guy? I've seen him. It's like, well, he's actually been doing it for like 20 years, and he's he's gonna do tight jokes. He's not gonna turn on the crowd. Yeah. Or anything like that. Like, this could be a bad show. I'll watch Ryan for 30 minutes, and then and
it makes him better.
Yeah.
I know, like, I mean, you sort of, at a certain point in your career, you're like, I hope I get to do all the good spots. I hope I get the best spot on every show for the rest of my life. And that's not the case, and that's something that you like learn to integrate into your psyche, where it's like, sometimes I'm going to be the support act, and sometimes I'm going to be the headliner, and both of those things make me better.
Yeah, and the best, is probably the feature spot.
That too.
The 30-minute feature, but then, like, I don't know, doing the 40-minute headliner spot is, I don't know if it's the best spot, but it is the one that I want to get the most of. But it's scary. The check drop, all that.
Check drop, maybe maybe the audience, maybe the show isn't well attended, maybe it's like a bad night, and then if they're not a generous crowd, then you're like, oh man, I'm gonna look bad because of these people, and maybe I should be better at comedy or should be better at comedy, but like also like, oh, this feels like a bad hand that I was dealt. So sometimes headlining is like, it is like stressful, and it should be, because it is like you're the big guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got my 6 weeks there. Like I got 6 weeks that I'm really being focused about right now. I'm doing my first wedding a week from today.
Okay.
That's kind of a whole thing to like try not to screw up for them. And then I'm doing I'm headlining Pittsburgh Don't Tell in 3 weeks. So that's the first time I'm headlining some Don't Tells. And then I'm doing Nateland Live. That'll probably just be like 5 or 10 minutes, but it's clean. It's Nashville. And then at the end of this whole 6 weeks, I'm headlining the Idiot Box. And that's like, it was very nice of Jenny to give me that chance. I'm going to try to like run the ads. And I want that 40 minutes to hopefully be like noticeably better and just more refined than all the times I've tried, you know.
I bet it will be. I bet I bet you know, like you get a little rest period from like you did like a big chunk of headlining gigs, and then like, I don't know, all the subconscious stuff that goes on in creativity probably will help you.
That's what I'm hoping, yeah. And I've hit the odd and third room enough to where I'm hoping some of that shit can be in there. It's like you start going, man, have I added anything new to my 40 minutes in the last 6 months? Because it's like trying to simultaneously go long and find enough time to squeeze in the new things. But sometimes dusting off an old thing can
feel
like,
the same.
Yeah. But yeah,
it has that sort of fun, glowing energy, like the old stuff that you haven't done in a while, and you're like, oh yeah, I have that joke, and that could go after this new joke or this old joke, and that's like exciting to like sort of have one that's already been tested, but you wouldn't consider it part of the act. You're like, oh yeah, I can sort of show this one off, and people will be impressed.
Like if you're trying to do a bunch of headliner gigs and it's the same order, the same jokes, I feel like that becomes its own problem where you're just like getting robotic, and so it's like that's kind of a thing I'm trying to figure out now too, is how to keep it alive and changing. And
definitely when I get to do like feature sets, like 4 feature sets, which is like the best, there's gonna be a bad one, and you like can't like avoid, obviously there's gonna be a worst one of the weekend, and like that sucks. But I think the worst thing is when the worst thing has been when I like work really hard on like an early show set, and then between the early and late show I don't change anything, and it's like, well, you didn't write this one for these people, you wrote this one for the early show, and you're gonna be punished for it.
How long is that? Is it like 20 or 30 depending on the headline?
20. It's like a
Perfect.
loose 20.
And then like, do you tend to do? When I do that I always feel like I'm probably going to do the same act more or less for all 4 shows. And I do feel ashamed that the other comics will notice that. Because people always say like, I opened for him all weekend. He did a different hour every time.
Yeah.
Do you try to do that, or do you just go like, I mean, it's a new audience, and I'm trying to do the best?
I'm trying to impress the headliner a little bit by doing a different early and different late show, but I don't think I could do a different 4 20-minute sets, which is like I'm fine with. The nice thing is that I've also not seen like I listen to your podcast a lot, so like Nathaniel talks about like Dale Jones doing a different set every set, and go, okay, like
he is the most recent one to say that to me.
It is like, okay, yeah, it's not who cares, but it is like, well, that's nice that you got to experience that. But in my experience from the headlining weekends where I watch all 4 shows, by and large, 70% the same each show. Yeah. And it's just like, it's not, they aren't, when you get to do headlining sets all the time, I don't think these people are being very like, I'm building something. You know, they just like have a glut of material, and sometimes they don't remember to do one bit on the first show and they remember it on the second show. They don't worry about me, so I don't worry about them. You know, like I'm trying to impress the headliner a little bit, and I'm also trying to make sure the club owners aren't tired of me.
Yeah. I mean, what does that look like? You got your 20-ish loose, like you trying to close and end with a tried and true and throw some new shit in the middle? Or
Yeah, so I'll do different early and late, and whatever new thing I'm working on that week will be in both sets, but everything else should be different, I think.
Where do you put the new thing in the set usually?
Beginning.
Really?
Yeah, you go. I mean, that's the thing
I tried that.
Taught myself.
Every time I talk to you, I end up trying that,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, I don't know that. So a lot of times it just starts bad, and I feel like I can't. Like I was like, there's also the opposite. That's like, get a laugh right away.
Yeah.
Fucking don't try to.
No, I agree with get a laugh.
If I can
right
do
away.
a joke about the place, I feel like a medium good joke about like Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It feels like it can feel good, like a good joke, even if it's just medium.
Yeah.
If it's about them, maybe I'll try it.
One club comic.
Lost a little bit.
Lost a little bit.
Dang. Anyway, we're rolling again.
What'd we lose?
We got like, I want to say like more than 15 minutes. I don't know how long we've been talking.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it is crazy. There's no club here.
It's just you have like one club there's one club comic in Asheville, and he's good.
Yeah.
But like that's a cadence and a rhythm that like I'm a little more used to hearing now. And you go, it's helpful to just have like standalone bits, routines.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I'm at the odds, sometimes I'm the one that's the most trying to do something like that,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, I don't even know how I feel about that. Or like maybe I'm there to make sure I don't go too much into that. Like, set it up.
No, there's definitely like a blessing to the fact that like Asheville is so creative and weird, and every scene could use a little bit more of that. And then Asheville is the only scene in the world that could use a little less of that. Like if they could, once that club opens.
So now you're in a place where you're around clubs and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, this is like,
because they're being more informed by people who have like paid to watch it, and they're like sitting there, and they are like normal, respectable city folk who are like, don't do your art at me.
Yeah. When I got to do the Harrisburg weekend, I mean, it was just like, wow, I can't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just a Friday, Saturday show for people pretty like blue collar, but they paid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, they know what it is. This room has done it. And it was like, damn, that was it. It was kind of depressing, honestly, doing like all the shows after that, because they were kind of like the lighting and the sound and the alternative spaces. It's like, man, I don't know.
Why is it so hard to outfit a room? I mean, Carrie and Petey have been working on it for like a decade to like outfit the rooms as best as you can to make it feel like a club.
Yeah.
But like no one else has been putting that work in.
Yeah.
And I know like a handful of folks will like go down to maybe less than a handful will go to like Comedy Zone and stuff, but even Comedy Zone doesn't produce great feature comedians.
And they've moved to a new room that's so it's like we've taken a lot of hits,
Mm-hmm.
Blue Ridge is like, I think it's
threatening
hard.
to
It's
kill
hard.
itself.
It's hard, constantly, and then I think Comedy Zone did a similar thing. The Greenville Comedy Zone to Blue Ridge, where it's like they moved to a bigger room that's more off the beaten path.
Yeah.
So it's like the places that were clubs nearby are like taking hits.
Yeah.
Apparently, we've maybe got one coming this summer. Occasionally, like Melissa will do one at like Eulogy or something. And there's a few, and it's like, or the Gray Eagle, and it's like, all right, this feels pretty close.
Right.
And every 2 years I'll do one of those. I'll be like, this felt like an Asheville show that was pretty close to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the best comedy show I ever saw, maybe not best ever, but like Gray Eagle was like, I saw like Todd Barry and Neil Hamburger and Brendan Walsh at Gray Eagle, and I was like in a good headspace because like I just woke up from a nap, and they got those big quiet fans overhead that keep the room cool. And it was like, man, if I felt this good every time I watch comedy, that'd be great.
It's the greatest room we have. It's the oldest one now too, I think.
Yeah.
I went to see Hudson Freeman. He's like a young dude with an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
With our 14-year-old a few weeks ago. So just being in that room, I hadn't been to see music for a while, but yeah, it's like that room is the perfect size. And you can feel that it's got history and vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to the orange peel, I mean, I love performing there and I love seeing comedy, but that ceiling is so fucking high. I mean, it's kind of a third room thing where it's just like, it can only explode so much when there's the ratio of air over you to like how it's just you can only do so good. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like it's not going to explode the way the Gray Eagle can.
Yeah, and it's like a really cool space. Like if it wasn't that you're trying to make comedy there, it's like a very like pretty sort of like, oh, look, they made it like in the round and the walls are like projected onto in a neat way, and like the art's like spacey and cosmic, which can be like a little hacky, but sometimes it's nice to get that change of I don't know, they've made decisions with the space, the actual whoever owns it, and it like looks cool.
Do you believe like the number of performances that have happened in a room have an effect on the quality of a show? Like a great new location that was just made into a place, and it's the 20th show versus like this place has been here for 25, 30 years, and there's been, I don't know, thousands or tens of thousands. You think that has an effect?
I want to say yes, but I mean, it's more of like a dialing in over time.
Yeah,
and like the staff like
respects it doesn't have to
space.
be like crystals and energy.
Yeah, it's just like this guy has worked at. The manager of the Orange Peel has worked at the Orange Peel since he wasn't the manager of the Orange Peel, and the staff is like people have worked at the place a long time. It's been taken care of. I mean, there is something cool about performing where the Beastie Boys performed or whatever people suck Orange Peel off about. But
I mean, that's what the Harrisburg Comedy Zone was like. This is Shane Gillis's home club. Like,
yeah,
everybody said that. Like, this was like the first place he came. So it's like. And that was a while back, and I think, those stories, it is kind of fun,
Yeah.
Some of the waitresses are like, Shane Gillis ain't shit, It's like, kind of like
that is cool.
Fun.
No, I love hearing that.
And then the shows were like, it was just, you could feel the dialed inness.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
No, yeah, I think
the history is
important.
Yeah, like it's like reps. It's like trying to get the reps in. It's like, has the room gotten the reps in?
Mm-hmm.
That's got to benefit it.
Yeah.
Has the community around there been like, I don't think the headliner was someone that necessarily they bought the ticket for. It was like, well, we'll see what's going on at the Comedy Zone this weekend. They put on quality events.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, damn, if I could do that, like every other weekend for a few years, like trying to crack that code.
There's enough spaces for I think there's enough spaces for some of us to do that, and I feel like as long as you like stay on top of the administrative stuff, I think it's possible.
How's that going for you? Like
Terrible.
The balance of
terrible, but then sometimes you just have a good month. I like being busy on the weekends, so and I have a big calendar on my cubicle wall, and we have one for both of our shows, me and Helen, just outside, like right at our door at our house, and sometimes the calendar is full, and I feel pretty positive about that. But then I would say like April, it's June now, so I'd say April and May were pretty slow months for me, and like it is like that feels bad when you have to like sit at work and look at your empty little weekends, and you're like, what am I doing with my life if there's like if there's nothing on the calendar? The administrative aspect of my comedy career is not going better. I got the reels up and running, but I think the big challenge now is, I told you I was trying to write like 1,000 words of jokes a week on Mondays, and I did that for like 6 weeks, and then I stopped. It was a little tough, but I did feel like I felt like the jokes coming my way when I was doing that. Like you could just like see sort of, the more you write, the more you attract jokes to yourself, I guess. In terms of like the administrative stuff, man, I just don't know what to do. And it's just reaching out. I do know what to do. There's like a part of me that knows what to do, and then you're like, I'm going to do it, and you go, and I don't.
The spreadsheet has really changed my life.
Yeah.
Like the Paul Snyder spreadsheet.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's the same information I already had, but it's in a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally like there's a column. It's like when I last reached out.
Yeah.
So it's like, he said he does it once a month. I'm working, it's like 60 rows, or something, and there's everything from like that guy who does alt shows in the Triangle that might just be like $40. Do I really want to drive out there? To like the few like Comedy Zone bookers that I really want to be doing more of, but and I've heard those guys really want you to just send me every month. Don't be entitled about it, but just be like, hey, this new Dry Bar clip, and and then send the actual avails. And I think that's when I'm feeling it, usually a few times a month, I can sit down for a few hours, and the spreadsheet really has, because there's a column, it's when I last did it, so it's like, there's like 60 rows, and some of them are going back to March, when I get to the end, I go back, I'll be like, all right, well, I haven't bugged them in like 3 months.
I think that's what I was trying to, most recently, that was like my idea, where it would be like, just draw a circle on the map of like a 4-hour radius of Cincinnati, and just like write down anybody you can think to contact. And obviously there's like some people you met, like there's people from the 2-hour cities that I've met and I know, and obviously outside of that, it would just be like, email this comedy club, email this comedy night. And like if I wrote them all down and then I just, did it until I was satisfied with how full my calendar was versus my actual like job and relationship and my other responsibilities, then that's like the way to go. I just I haven't done it.
Yeah.
And you got to do like 3 months out, that thing too.
Yeah, the avail. So yeah.
Do I even want to do comedy 3 months from now?
I know.
There's like a big feeling over my head sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's not due to me not liking comedy. That's due to my exhaustion with other.
Yeah.
Just the 9 to 5.
It is weird that on the one hand, I like booking, like right now it's time to be talking about August and September because we're in June. And it's like, I like that. But yeah, it was kind of nice that there was a few months where I didn't really have a lot of shows and I did just kind of like chill out. And I think that is kind of nice not to be like, I've realized, like, I guess I talked to Aaron Snyder. It's like been about 8 or 9 months since the whole like headliner run the meta ads thing. So it's like, it was really nice after about 6 or 7 to take some time. Because when I was in my 20s, I really tried to like make it with music, and like it got to where it stopped being fun because I was so goal oriented that it was like, and I think with the special coming out and the meta ads and being like the 50 hit, like there is a point where it starts to be like, am I ruining I think I do need to dial it back a little. Like it's like a pendulum between like, I need to do some goals. Like I'm going to hit the next 6 weeks. I'm in training mode, but then you do need to allow yourself some time to be like, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it this hard. Like just going to the odd and hanging out and working on new shit. That's actually pretty cool too. You don't have to just be setting these insane goals for yourself and then feeling like you're failed at them because you set them to be too hard.
Yeah.
So you're just ashamed all the time.
I mean, I'm just coming to the realization recently that like the concept of like a calendar year like has fucked me up a little bit, where like you're supposed to like change your life starting January 1st. Or like you're supposed to accomplish things per year rather than like per chapter of your life. Like if there's nothing different, this is my Cincinnati chapter. It's not like Cincinnati year. It's not 2020. It's not that last year's like 2025 and this year's 2026. I'm just like in a chapter of my life, and like the concept of a year really sort of gets in my head sometimes, where it's like, it's already June, and it's like, June of what? It's June of it's the second June of your Cincinnati chapter. It's not June 2026 and it's 6 months after January 2026. And so like that makes me be hard on myself, and I'm trying to like think more broadly about time. But then you still got to like put your nose to the grindstone sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean, do you like the society around you is going like, it's a year, it's 4 seasons, we're all like, but your unit of like a metric of like a chunk of like an accomplishment is like Chicago, and then it's like back in Asheville, and it's Atlanta, and then it's Cincinnati. So
exactly.
It's like, and those roll in and out of like the calendar year as they want. So
right, and there's like a lot of time spent like coming to terms with those chapters also. Like the next chapter is also coming to terms with the chapter when I was homeless, or the COVID chapter, which we all had. There's a lot of it's all interconnected, and it's all like moving at different paces, and it's hard to like, and I'm going to foist structure onto creativity in order to profit from it.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of fucked me up. I think it's gotten whatever the left side of the brain, whatever the logical side is. I think it. I have a tendency to get too that way, and it has been like, you know. But then sometimes it's like I did the work now, and I'm just going to spend the next 6 weeks trying to really feel the jokes and like prepare them. So it's like I'm not going to be sending out the emails, and I hope I hope I can throw myself into creative guy. And also have grace with myself when there's a bad one, you know. Sure. Maybe the big idiot box one will be the worst one, and like a year from now, that's cool. But like driving home that day, that'll be tough. You know, you gotta like deal with those kinds of things. I don't know. I mean, for me, it helps to just see things visually. Like what you described, it's almost like if I took a big sheet of paper or a whiteboard and I did like Chicago, and I wrote the years, and then I wrote like this, and kind of thought about what I'd learned. It would make me go like, oh, I'm crushing it. Like, look at all the places I've gone and done this. Yeah, it would prove to me that like there's a lot of value in the way you're building your experiences.
And it's like exciting to have had a different life than other people, and that it was nice of myself to nice of me and my parents who let me live with them. It was nice of me to not put pressure on myself and just like frolic in a field for a decade. Which, metaphorically speaking, where I just sort of tumbled around.
I mean, you've worked very hard at comedy. I think like working hard on something there's an intrinsic value to that, to where like if you go work really hard as a part of some clown juggling circus thing and you're broke, then later on you want to do a tech startup or something, like you are able to transfer those skills. It's not like it was wasted.
Yeah,
you know?
I did.
You've gone to confront your own demons.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. No, my boss took me and my coworker Hannah. Hannah's worked there at the sewer department about like 3 months longer than I have, and my boss took us to talk to a high school field trip. So it's just a bunch of different city employees and 3 sewer employees, which is like too many of us. But there's like a bunch of city employees, and the city manager was just talking to the high school students, and then as a panel, we all got to ask questions. And this teacher, and I've translated this. I translated this unfavorably, but she's like, "Can you tell these kids? Are any of you doing what you thought you'd be doing at 18?" Which I was like, "Fuck this lady." Fuck this dream killer. And so I was like, well, I make rent from comedy, so don't listen to this bitch. I didn't call her a bitch. But me saying that sort of reminded like another guy on the panel that like, oh yeah, and I play music at the Woodward Theater once a month, me and my band. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of proud of myself for sticking with it and like getting to a point where if I applied a little more pressure, I could make rent every month from comedy, and I have a job and I have health insurance, and like it's all like really good, and I have a girlfriend, and it's all coming together. I got a dog.
that stuff is huge, because I do think if I was in the van out on the road all the time, I would be getting into some real bad mental, like it wouldn't be sustainable. Like balancing it with a relationship and a job actually is. It can be good for the art,
I think so.
Like Einstein working at the patent office or Bukowski at the post office. We talked about that stuff, but it doesn't mean you failed if you have to also spend another equal chunk of your energy managing the responsibilities of being an adult.
Right,
in a
I'm not like living scared where it's like, what if Helen finds out I don't have any money? Because I would, like, if I didn't have a job and I was like, I'm going to try to make comedy work in Cincinnati. And then like, I'm like scraping by every month or dipping into my savings every month. But because I have like a full-time job and I've, taken so much time to get good at comedy that I can be like a reliable person that you can pay to do comedy. I'm like, I'm in a pretty good, it's a good case scenario.
Yeah.
It's not, and so like there's like, what would I say? There's something to be said. There's like an R. Crumb quote that I like in terms of like creativity, where it's like, actually you do have to like sit around and sort of let the whole thing fester. He uses the word fester, which I like. There is like a part of the creative process where you do have to like rot a little bit.
Yeah.
Which the job gets in the way of, which waking up at 6 a.m. every morning gets in the way of. Well,
That's early.
But whatever. Well, there's a part of me that's rotting somewhere that I can scoop jokes out of.
But you're like, you're trying to relate the people that came to the show, like the audience that we want at the clubs or whatever. They have those types of jobs and they have those kind of responsibilities. So when you become a celebrity, or whatever,
Yeah.
you're an entitled, you're dialing in your cold plunge temperature and you're flying. You're to it's like,
and you're mad at trans people because there's nothing else to be mad about.
yeah. I mean, I think that it's almost like it feeds in. There's a functional. So you said in there too. You said you do feel like good at comedy, right? Like you're kind of past the point of being like, am I? Yeah, I guess it's still kind of like a bad set will rattle you. But I wanted to ask you, before you did comedy, did you feel funny? When you were, did you feel like you were funny with your friends, or did you have to start comedy and be like, now it's going to take a while to feel like I'm a funny person?
I think I went to an all I was going to say I went to an all boys school. I did not go to an all boys school. I went to a boarding school where I lived on a hallway of all boys in a building of all boys. And I think living around a bunch of teenage boys upped my comedy, upped my socialization. I think left to my own devices, I sort of stray away from socialization. And so I would say living with teenage boys was probably pretty pivotal personality wise, and it made me funny.
You were getting laughs with the group.
Was I getting laughs?
And there may be some funny boys too, or there was a sense of humor is valued.
Humor is valued.
That's a way that
and I would say maybe I was getting laughs. I don't think I was the funniest one in the group. But what was I going to say? Oh, I remember on the adult who lived on Hall my senior year, Brian Creech, in one of the he had to write status reports to all of our parents, just little updates. And I remember he called my sense of humor gruff. And then my dad was like, gruff. It was very sort of alien. Who I was at the school, at least to this adult, was very alien to how my parents perceived me. So I would say if my humor was noted on my report card, then I guess I was trying to be funny, or I was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I do think when you start comedy, you do sort of get too heady about it, and you stay heady about it, but you also get funnier. So you earn your headiness, I think. But for those first years, you're just probably obnoxious to all the people who knew you up until then. You go, what's this guy always talking about comedy for? And why is he going for the laughs? Why is he going for the joke so hard?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it on here that there's almost some friendships that I've kind of lost by transition into comedy. And I mean, I kind of feel like those friendships really weren't meant to last anyway. And it's after 10 years, you are a new person, but there were some friends that just really wouldn't come with me, would refuse to.
Yeah.
Maybe there was even a little of I'm the funny one in the group, or you're a song, you play the acoustic guitar and the songs are sad or whatever. It was, which did kind of fuck me up. Am I asking for too much attention, or is it trying to be what it means to be no, I think you do kind of have to believe that you're funny, or you have a perspective that's unique or something.
Yeah.
I
think so. I mean, your friends aren't your fans. That's an important thing to remember. I think I learned that from Corey the gardener, of all people. I think he would say that that's a sentence that makes sense to me. But I think, I don't know, I think your friends should oh, he got a new hobby. They shouldn't be I got a funny one.
Yeah. I mean, I think what I've arrived at is if you're close friends with somebody, you should be able to share your art with them. Mm-hmm. Whether that's maybe you're just I'm making these little beaded necklaces, and just you do kind of go, all right, well, tell me about the beaded necklaces. We're not going to talk about it every time we hang out.
Right.
I don't even necessarily have to come to the show. It'd be nice if I did come to like the
once a year
to the little booth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to buy anything, but like there is something where it's like it's really just a window to get to know it's a person's interests, you know.
Yeah.
It's like your kids are like, why are they talking about this fucking show so much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I need to be like, well, there is some reason that they care about this show, so I should try to understand.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, at first I'm like, I don't want to hear about this kids show.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Maybe it's not interesting. I think it's interesting to like, I do this thing in town and I'm good at it, and then I go out of town and people hate me. Like it's like I almost got killed.
Yeah. It's an adventure. It's a hero's journey.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hero's journey. And maybe that's obnoxious to people.
Yeah.
Maybe go, you're not the hero.
It's interesting too, because there are people that like I didn't know as well that are just I just kind of, and they're like, when could we come see you? Like, so maybe that kind of makes you go, well, these fucking people won't even like just got back from New York, did his show, and it's like just a weird silence where it's almost like maybe threatening
Don't talk about your shows.
Yeah, it's like
it's interesting.
And then somebody else goes, I built a shed this week, and everybody goes, oh, show us pictures. You're like, what the?
Yeah. Well, I've benefited from. It's not benefit. It's like a blessing and a curse, but like I have been doing comedy since I was 18, and it's all I've thought about for the most part. And at a certain point, all my friends are stand-ups, and even my longest friendships, there are boys that I keep in touch with, not by my own. Like they're better friends than I am, and so like
they make a point
they're
to
in
reach out.
Ohio. I there's aspects of friendship that I'm good at. Like my friend Steve was in Columbus. And so, like, I drove to Columbus, which is like a 2-hour drive, but like, but he's like, and then he'll like show interest in my stand-up. But I would say, by and large, most of my friendships are through comedy, and I do like the community of comedy. I do like, and that probably relates to the living on an all-boys hall. I liked being an art major because all the art majors like worked, like all the homework had to be done in the building because you couldn't take home like the printing presses and stuff. So there's like an aspect of like I like doing work near people. I like being in a group, even though I'm not like hyper social. I think I've always benefited from like being sort of wading in a pool of people with similar interests.
Yeah, it's like going to a coffee shop to journal, or I like to be left alone probably more than I should, but I do kind of prefer to be writing my thoughts, and there's like somebody else, there's like other people in the room or the next room, like just kind of being a parallel play, kind of like being around people, but you don't have to necessarily be interacting with them the whole time.
And I think what's nice about comedy scene is like, I don't know any of them too well, and that like allows me to like them all a little more.
Yeah.
I'm not like invested in all these people's lives. There's people like I have like a real sort of fondness for creatively, but it's even those people you're like, man, that guy's cool, and then I don't have to like
find out that he's not.
Find out he's not cool.
Like he'd go over to help him move and
and swastikas and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I get the sense of from some people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice to know somebody through a thing. I almost think like we are, the idea that you are a static person is kind of an illusion. And, like I am a little different. Like even just going to the Odd every week for a few weeks, I start, I'm a little bit more remembering that part of myself than like going up to a club where everybody's older or something. It's like, it does kind of seep in the places that you are.
Yeah, and I like, the nice thing about the auditorium and like living here, I'm just going to guess this for you. Like if I come back a year and a half later and I still know 10 people, then you probably, that it's like great. It's like I still feel like welcome, and like if you only go once a month or twice a month, you're experiencing, even if there's that's a new guy and I don't know him and maybe I won't know him for like a half a year, you still get to like, CJ's not going to be mean to you. CJ's not going to like snub you.
Yeah.
Or will he?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I get the sense that no. But yeah, it is fun to roll in and out and just
Mhm.
kind of accept that. Like, I think that's probably what got cut off when we it wasn't rolling for 5 or 10 minutes. It was a shout out to the naming the new comics I'm like, all right, that's like I've learned these folks' names and I have made a point to be like, I should do another round of video podcasts where I should have on a few of the new people,
a little series,
stuff like that.
a
Yeah,
little mini series. Yeah, but yeah, I heard Worth is moving.
Oh dang. Yeah, I mean, the podcast too has like also been a thing where it's like the where we're talking about the amount of time, like sneaking him in on road trips. You know, it's like, well, I'm trying to do more long sets, so you bring somebody with you, you can do it there.
Yeah,
like there really is. It's like it's hard to do it all. Like if I try to do too much, there starts to be like a painful feeling that's associated. That does not help the funny. It doesn't help the creativity.
No, where you go, I have to do one this week.
Yeah.
I have to do 2 this week.
Yeah.
That sucks. To like have to like standardize your output, which is not what creativity is about. And probably that might be like, that's definitely just like hurt. The modern era has like created that sort of pain where like, you know, you had Louis who was like releasing a new hour every year, and then you had Andrew Schultz who's like, I'm releasing a clip a week, and within that like time span of the last 10 years from Louis doing an hour a year, and now it's like Jeffrey Asmus releases 2 stand-up bits a day.
Josh Johnson's been fucking me up too. It's like he's like every day I'll have a long form piece on whatever habits. Like, god damn.
Yeah.
I got to see that, you know. I mean, I think it's great. Like you're talking about topical stuff. I'm like, I'll just watch him talk about the White House lawn wrestling, and that's like that kind of did it for me. Like,
yeah,
he's good at that.
He's good at it.
So,
yeah, there's something to be said about it. I lived in Chicago at the same time as Josh Johnson, and I would say that we are the same age. And there was like one show, my friend had like an album release party, and when he asked me to do it, he's like, I'm going to get you and Josh Johnson because you guys are like newer guys on the scene, and like I think you guys are really special. And I was like, okay. And so in my head, I'm like, I was equal to Josh Johnson at one point.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I was equal to Josh Johnson to one guy who doesn't do comedy anymore.
That's like Blaine was around for like all the, you know, like Mark Normand and all, like
right.
He's like they're our age, and he was there in the 2000s at all the mics with all those guys.
Yeah,
I mean the ones that have gone on. And by the way, Blaine is someone I said I wouldn't even do another podcast. Blaine is like someone I want to get on more than anyone.
Yeah,
and he's been busy, and I ran into him at Whole Foods, and I was like, "Come on the podcast." He's like, "I will," and then I'm like, "When?" And he's like, "It's
never.
This week's been a little busy."
Yeah.
But
he has 2 kids.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's not listening, but would love to have Blaine on.
Love to have Blaine.
You know,
yeah, that'd be cool.
A little Blaine sidetrack there.
But that's like a good lesson to meet those guys, the Blaines and the me's of the world, where you go, they've known like successful comedians, and they're not like ruined by it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell that story anytime Josh Johnson comes up.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's interesting, like too. About once a year, or every 2 years, I'll get into a new musician, and there's a guy that I've just gotten really heavily into. A guy that I grew up with sent me this guy named Stephen Wilson Jr. He's like a country artist.
Okay.
I can't believe how country his voice sounds. Like when I first heard it, I was like, I just could not like something this country, but. For whatever reason, I've been listening to it a lot.
Yeah.
And I always like research the guy. He's my age. He's born the same year as me. So it's like he didn't start singing and writing songs till his mid-30s. And he didn't actually break through till like the last few years, his mid-40s. But he's been there the whole time. Like, you know, in crappy indie bands in his 20s, like kind of like being like when Josh Johnson was at this level. So there's a lot of stories like that, but then he's still kind of like managed to become like a big deal now.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm expecting that, but I think that like I really like his music, and it's like kind of country and dad. And I think that kind of says like, oh, my tastes are changing. I'm becoming like about to turn 47. So that's kind of scary, but I'm like, you know, it's American music. It's country. It's also he's not a Nazi. He's very progressive. I know he's not like a Trump guy.
Yeah.
But also I think it's like it is nice to have a story like that you can still hear about somebody your age that's like there's forward momentum. Like you're not like looking around going like, Sometimes I'll go to the Odd and I'll be like, Art's not here. Like, nobody's here. Petey's not here.
Yeah. Well, Petey was talking about moving to New York by the end of this year, which I hope happens. But then you go, well, who replaces Petey? And then you see like there's like this this shape of like who's in the progression, and there's like a few people like, and then like everybody's new, sort of. Everybody's like under 5 years, and then there's like
James Harrod is back.
Yeah, James Harrod's back.
Brian
it feels
Brown,
like there's
Derek.
There's like 6 veterans, and then everybody else is like they could all quit. Maybe.
I feel like Julia's getting to like 5. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like there is a strong middle class.
Okay.
You know,
Well, that's fine. That's just Petey's been doing it for.
Yeah, well, I
15
would be
years
curious
or
to talk to him about that, because I have noticed that Petey has seemed to be a lot more in producer mode.
Yeah.
Like his mic is so crowded
Mm-hmm.
that it's like, I'm like, you going up? He's like, why would I even think about doing that? I'm trying to make this a success. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
we could all benefit from you
Absolutely.
doing I mean,
He went up the other night just so
Did the-
that the other producers could move stuff around the stage because the spotlight was bad just based on where the comics were standing, and so like he's like crushing it while doing like participating in the producing of the show to make it better for the audience.
It is hurting the room for Petey to be there and not do a set. Like, we should all move ourselves around that. Just the calmness, like the rhythm, the voice. It's just a very dialed in thing, and it's just the room and the comics is just, he's always kind of teetering on, you know, the Wild West of whatever, you know. You got to just land some like pipe bomb, whereas like you do kind of want some people that are just fucking
you want like the
doing
tent poles of the scene, and then when you like go. Yeah, and like
know the beats, have the voice.
Well, yeah, you want people to go, oh, we're watching like, oh, this is like special. And if you take too many of the little Jenga blocks out, the sort of the Hillarys and the U's and the Petey's, and then they go, oh, this isn't good, and the Jenga tower falls because Hillary wasn't there the other night either.
Yeah, I did. Last time I did the third room was a couple weeks ago. I was at the beach this past week. That's my excuse for not being there.
You could have still made it.
And I did. I was like, I'm doing all things I haven't said before, and it was extra hard. And it was like, I probably should have started with something newish that I did at least know the beats on.
Yeah,
because like when it's that quiet and big, sometimes I started to kind of forget. You know, you can kind of feel yourself like losing confidence in your ability. And I mean, what you said about the legendary thing, I mean, or what I said about you, like, not that I think that everyone's like, Ryan's great, but I do know that like I've done some things where like I've put out a special and I've been doing it long enough to where I do feel, in my mind, I imagine people going like, this is fucking, I thought he'd done enough things to be good. Like this.
Yeah, you want to honor their perception of you.
Yeah,
or your perception
live up
of
to
you.
it,
You
but
want to
then
live up to you gotta,
but not doing it is
time.
part of it. That's like a new thing. Is like you know, bombing as a more senior comic is its own like new.
Right. This isn't gonna ruin me.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna like change my standing in the scene. I think people like people like. I think it's a sign of maturity to be like, I don't care if they see me doing bad. It's bad to like not have prepared something, but it's not bad to bomb.
And I felt like it would be bad to do tried and true material.
That too.
But then afterwards, I was like, maybe should have started or ended, or both, with something that worked before. But I don't know. I think getting older too, it's kind of like, what is my role in this? Like, I mean, I think it does make sense to try to like lift other people up and be like the older you get, the more it does make sense to like nurture a scene where you are like focused more on making sure other people get like I shouldn't be taking opportunities from
sort of. I mean, I agree, but there is something to be said about like I think hierarchies can be oppressive, but like yes, lift people up, but also sometimes new people get like undue praise. They get like vaulted.
He's that wild new guy.
Wild new guy, hot new guy.
But I know I've been around long enough to know that shit doesn't last. So whatever that hot new thing is, they're gonna have to follow that.
They're gonna have to follow that.
That could be the thing that destroys them.
Right. I just want to make
months.
sure that I'm not like elevating somebody just because like they're
new and
smell
shiny.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're new and shiny. You got to have a little bit. You have to, as an older guy, you have to sneer at them a little bit, and hopefully that's not the worst thing to do. Hopefully it doesn't like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, these guys, new guys, these old guys don't like anything, and it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to emotionally invest in somebody just because they're like cool, and I'm trying to still be cool. I think that's important.
Yeah, and 1 year is like, I mean, a year is. I don't think anyone should know your name in the first year, but it's awesome when you manage to overcome that. But you shouldn't expect to get on a show or have anyone know your name or get a good spot for a year. That seems like reasonable. But then it's cool to see the people that do kind of break that, like to see like Lionel have a great set, and I'm like, I don't know how long it's been, but seems like he's got something going pretty quick, and that's great. That's inspiring to me. It's like.
I think that's the benefit of having like a bad room like Root Bar or something is like you can tell who like cares about it by the people who come to those, like those new guys. I think they earn learning their name because they like do the bad ones. But if it's just like I come to Wednesday night and I'm looking for that like lottery good crowd that like I'm looking to win the lottery with like an accidental good set. Fuck them. Fuck.
I got to Wednesday at like the last time I came, I got there at 7:15, and then at 7:30 it drops, and it's like this just a tense. I hate it feels so toxic and scary when the line fills up, and then the order of the line is not even the order that people showed up, and you can tell that there's some people that have just been there that aren't even going to get in 30, and people are right. That I don't know. That to me, that's kind of an icky feeling. And I think the nice thing about a Root Bar mic is like, it's like you're kind of hanging out with a smaller group of people at a weirder. It's like, these are the 8 people. Like, if it's only 8 of you, you're going to get to know people better than if it's 38.
So and then like,
and
then you can tell like, oh, Jason Reel actually wants to be good at this, whereas like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I don't do Root Bar.
Yeah. I just come out to see and be seen.
Yeah. Which is fine. I don't know. It's just don't expect respect. I don't want to be talking like an old man.
But I mean, that's what
I don't even know who I'm talking about in that case.
Yeah,
Josh Merrill. Just kidding. Winslow's far away.
I haven't been asked to do the Christmas show in at least a year, so I don't know. But it always comes back. Like just when you think, I think Josh had a kid or twins or something. So. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm trying to remember too. It's like there's my own mortality and my age, but also like the 10 years to me really does feel like that's like you've done. Like for me, it was always like 10 years and 1,000 reps is like you can call yourself a comedian. And now I really want to get rid of all those jokes and do another, much better, weirder, more like story based, or you know what I mean, like get to not just like jokey jokes, but really get to the like the Berbiglia thing where I love one drink mic. So is that what it's called? I love it. Mic. I mean, it's a 2-drink mic. In some ways, it's like the best, but then like after that, he threw those away and he created the thing that is Berbiglia and the culture that's like mimicked and.
Yeah, I think 2-drink mic's pretty perfect, and I think. Sleepwalk with Me is perfect. And anything after that is like good, but Sleepwalk with Me is so like, I don't think there's like a missing piece. I don't think there's something that he could do better. And it's definitely like worth like working towards.
Authentically him. It's like his thing. And I think the country artist I was talking about makes me feel like, you still can do that in your 40s and your 50s. You still can like throw it all away and come up with something better or redefine, or like there's novelists that do that. But I mean, maybe you shouldn't need to look around and see that, but I think it is nice to feel like I'm glad Art is out tonight because he's 20 years older than me and he's still, I'm not older than all these kids.
Yeah. It sounded like you did good the other night. I sometimes go, like when you're not like a professional comedian, when you don't have like all of your 40-hour work week to dedicate to comedy. I do like think that like, well, I can pick like the 3 artists that I admire, and I can sort of scale down what they do, and I can do that and try to like blend it into some sort of working thing that like feels like if I ever got the chance to be a full-time comedian, I could like get it off the ground. So like Stuart Lee is my favorite comedian, and he had like 4 or 5 specials. Not specials. 4 or 5. He had a TV show on BBC, and then it moved networks called Stuart Lee's Comedy Vehicle, and it would just be 6 half hours of stand-up comedy per season. And so like to prepare for that, he would like tour 6 half hours per year, and I think he would just like do 2 half hours a night. Like he'd like draw from a bag like 1 through 6, and he'd just like work on those that night. And like, you know, I can't do that, but I could like work on the infrastructure of a 25 minute set every like 100 days. Like at the end of this 100 days, I'm going to have like the infrastructure of like so like I can like scale down what he does. And so hopefully something would come out of that. And so like for like the Birbiglia thing, you got to just like try to write like Birbiglia, not like write like Birbiglia, but you got to go like, what is he doing? What can I do that's like what he does? But like, what do I have time for?
And he went on that radio show you probably listened to. Started reading the stories, and it was like almost like it wasn't totally planned, but it's here I am reading these long form stories on this show, and now it's like, maybe this could be the next thing, you know, like being aware enough to go like, you know, it doesn't have to keep being the thing that it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. Yeah. Just like you got to stay in your notebook. If you want new material, you got to write new material, which sucks.
I'm doing the actually the Seinfeld thing where like I print out monthly calendars so I can look at like the week and see like Cody, you know, like doing Idiot Box. I can just see like how many in a month. Like I have a circled thing that is a comedy thing, whether it's a podcast and now I'm starting to X off the days and try the Seinfeld thing where it's like, even if it's just 15 minutes, I sit down and I have the intention to write jokes. And that could mean writing something new or like just writing out something I already know and then underlining. I've been underlining the parts I think are funny.
Yeah.
Doing the Paul Snider thing. And that's actually been really cool because I flipped through like all this messy legal pad and I'm like, kids sleepover, and there's just 2 places that are underlined. And I've actually done that at Mike's, and I'm like, those are the 2 laughs. So now I transfer it to tonight's show, and I'm like, it's really just those 2 like get to those 2 things and see if you can find a third thing, you know, like and I'm trying to kind of like chain together. The Seinfeld thing is like, it feels good to see a chain. You can tell when it's broken, and it's almost like, you know, it's okay to break it, but if you have a whole month where it's like almost all X's,
that's cool.
That's good. That means and even it could just be 15 minutes too. It doesn't have to be an hour of writing.
No, that's great.
It
that's
just
like
gets the brain kind of.
And
then when you go to the odd and you're driving over there, you're like, well, let's have a quick look, you know.
Yeah, I've been working on it. There should be something in here.
And I've been signing up, and then I've been going and sitting in the car. I'm like, well, I have 30 minutes, so now I'm going to sit in the car and just try to talk through it.
Yeah.
I've got and that seems to be nice, you know.
Yeah.
A nice way to just kind of keep the, you know.
No, I think I really like that Paul Snider thing too, which is like, it makes sense, but also like when you've never heard something that seems like pretty obvious. You go, what?
And
why didn't anybody tell me about underlining the funny part?
And I was doing that. I was going, well, I just underline it in my mind and I know. But similar to the spreadsheet, when you actually underline it, it's 100% explicit. And I think sometimes when you kind of think you have an underline in your head, it actually isn't. It's like 80% formed.
Yeah.
It's like the spreadsheet. Well, I know it. I'm emailing them every few months, but when you see the friggin' column and it's 100, like, so they're trying to create these processes that are like, there's no ambiguity.
Yeah.
There's no place to hide and be like, well, my feeling is I'm doing it. It's like the evidence is there.
Yeah, that's really good.
And that's been helpful.
That's very good advice. Yeah.
But then that's also the same kind of thinking that can be dangerous and start to make it feel like I'm in my 20s getting angry that I'm not farther along because I have built a system and I'm being too logical. So you got to be careful with you gotta be careful. I gotta be careful that the rigidity that comes with that doesn't actually start to eat away at the joy and the spontaneity too. So it's always a pendulum of.
Yeah, the pendulum is important to acknowledge that there's like, I burnt out again. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And it's okay to like take some time off when you burn out.
Is that what you mean by rotting? Because that's almost
No,
how I took it.
I'd say burning out is because I didn't give myself time to rot. Is like, I would say like
rotting is regenerative.
Yeah. Yeah, you're moldering. I would say burning out is just like, sometimes I'll just give myself too many writing projects at once, and like it's always like, well, what do you don't want to. You want to be a stand-up. You want like new material, and you want like material that goes together. And you want material that sort of crushes and like blows minds in a certain way, like stuff that people haven't heard before. So like, why are you doing these other writing projects? And then like, I just give up on all of them at once. It feels like recently, when in reality. And so like I always just go back to like my number one is just like a journal every day. Like that's my most important to me. Like don't break this chain. Like I'm like 1,600 days in or whatever, 1,620 or something.
Yeah.
And so like that's like the most important thing. So as long as I don't lose that, then I can start to like rebuild whatever I'm writing on. But me doing the 1,000 words of jokes every Monday felt like, oh, this is what I should have been doing the whole time. There are people who like can write like set up punchline jokes, premise set up punchline tag jokes, which I'm not like good at, but I can like write funny things and I know what material sounds like. I should do like the underlining and the highlighting thing that Paul does, but like I could tell when I was doing 1,000 words of jokes a week that like I was generating stuff. But then I like add another thing and I add another thing and it just sort of like I give up on all of it because I can't stay on top of it. So there is like this thing of like, don't work so much that don't create so much work for yourself that you like have to stop.
Yeah.
But it's okay to stop also.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if as long as you can identify it when you stop and not keep running on like a twisted ankle, you know, and then you like, well, I'm still journaling every day.
Yeah.
I kind of like that because it's like the everyday thing isn't even you're a comedian. It's just you're an artist, you're a creative.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, jokes is like the medium, but it's like really just making sure the muse of my unconscious or whatever, I am keeping that muscle from atrophying just by putting pen to paper.
I'm trying to and like the part I always like I do so much like brainstorming. That's like a big, and then it's like it doesn't produce jokes is articulating an idea. It's not just coming up with ideas. And so that's my big permanent hurdle is like, no, I'm generating stuff. It's like, but no, you're not articulating any of the things that you're generating. You're not like you're not doing it. You're not doing the job. And some people would disagree with that because they see me do new material a lot, but I don't think it's good.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm trying to like, I want a 25-minute set of like introductory material. Like I want like a 25-minute set of mental hospital material, and I want a 25-minute set of
sewer material.
Not sewer material. Well, I mean, sometimes like if you like
zoo material.
Zoo material is good. Zoo material is good. It's like it's great. These are all things.
2020 sewer, mental hospital,
and zoo.
Yeah, it's 2020. That's an hour.
It's a great point. No, what do I want to say?
15. Family. Keep baby teeth in there.
You gotta keep baby teeth.
Mom's the flower thing. Thick dyed sad boy. Why phase it out? You know,
sad.
It's just me. It's not even the jobs. It's just me and my family.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. I was still gonna say something about the sewer.
I'm sorry, I'm derailing.
I wrote a bit this week about the bit that I did on my last feature weekend. Was like I have a coworker who like makes country songs with AI, and then he makes you listen to it, and I think it's rude. But it's fun. There's no social contract for AI art yet. There's no like, hey, don't show this to me.
Yeah.
You can't be.
You didn't even do it. You just wrote a prompt.
You wrote a prompt. So it's like they're sneaking in on the back of like getting to show your coworkers your actual art, which I'm also not a fan of.
Yeah, I did a thing too. You didn't. You just you wrote a prompt.
But okay, so my coworker, one of my other coworkers died in the last couple months, and this AI coworker, don't put this in reels.
All right, you got to get in this far to hear it. It's going in the pod though. Don't say it if you don't want it in the pod. Okay.
But one of my coworkers died, and my coworker who uses AI to make country music proposed in honor of Drew, we should have an AI songwriting competition. And my boss goes, I'm not going to do that, which like rules. And it was like so exciting to hear, like, hey man, we've all been sort of humoring you up until this point, but we're not gonna do an AI songwriting competition.
Yeah, the person that died, it wasn't their thing. It's some living person. It's like, this is a great chance for me to force my thing that doesn't even relate to the person's memory that we don't even like onto this. Like this, we got to draw the line here, you know.
And then another bit. Sorry to cut you off. No,
go ahead.
Another bit I've been working on more internally, but it's on paper somewhere. Is that like every job I've ever had, you have like a coworker who's like, they should make a TV show about this place, and my joke is like that's how dumb people experience depression. That's just it's like they should. Smart people go, I need meaningful work, and dumb people go, I need an audience. But the further iteration of that is that even at the mental hospital, there was somebody who's like, they should make a TV show about this place.
Yeah.
And so like that sort of, those two jokes together sort of, I can like picture them chunking together because it's about like human creativity or people avoiding creativity, because it's not like I should make a TV show about this place. It's like amorphous, they should make a TV show about this place. It's like, who? Yeah. Who should make a TV show about this place? They?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why like the underlining and the spreadsheet date column, like you're saying like get clear on what it is you're even saying. And
yeah, exactly.
Just a vague feeling that it's kind of a similar problem where it's actually pretty scary for most people to like write down what your goals are for the year, you know, explicitly with like numbers and metrics. You know, like goal setting is all about measurability. And that's just like, who would...
So that feeling of like there's something there, I'm just going to not...
Yeah.
I'm not going to dig out what is there.
That's
I'm just
the
gonna,
difference.
Like, feel it.
That's the difference. And maybe that person, if they put in all the time, they would have some amazing version of the show you never would have thought of.
Yeah.
But they're just saying like... Yeah, it's the same as prompting AI. It's like, look at these country songs. Like, you didn't do the thing. The whole interesting part is where you dig in.
The person you've been jealous of your whole life, who you watched show other people their art, you didn't do what they did.
Yeah.
They worked on it, and you're just like, you're like upsetting me.
Yeah, because I'm doing it every day, and I'm torturing myself trying to do it. So don't talk to me about what it should be and doing it. Go fucking do it. This is like... It's triggering because it's like you're talking about the thing that's probably like the most important thing to me as a person that I've been doing. So don't come up to me and be like, you know, I got some ideas too. Maybe that's the older comic thing where like it is okay to sneer a bit and be like, I have, you know, this is an important value to me. You know, it's like if someone's very religious and has put a lot of time into prayer and faith, and here's some off the cuff thoughts about God that I don't even really.
Right.
It's almost like you're disrespecting their whole... I don't know, your jokes to me almost feel like, you know, you talked about setup, punch, and like a structure, but like I almost imagine like, you know, you're writing on something and there's a very descriptive phrase. It's maybe absurd, but it's like you're painting a picture with like vivid language, and you're saying it with a voice that's not monotone. Like, do you feel like, is that kind of, would that be what you'd underline as you go like when you go up to try a new bit, have you actually been like, I need to memorize these 3 turns of phrase? Because I feel like those are the laughs.
Yeah, I've done that. I don't know. Like one of the things that I would say that's how I write. And there should be like some structure there. Obviously, it's not like saying nothing out of thin air. So you have to like set up the idea, and then you have to express the idea using those phrases that are cool. So it's not like, there are people who are like really good at like the math part of jokes, which I'm just like not, but I would venture to guess the jokes of mine that work could be explained with math. It's just not like
it's reverse engineering instead of
a little reverse engineering, but like, you know, there's like with a setup punchline joke, there's like two details in the setup that get permutated in the punchline in a surprising way. I think when you have somebody who's like more on like the writer side than the math side of joke writing, you're still doing a little bit of math. It's just like there's like tone. Some of the tone's doing the heavy lifting of the math problem. And that, you know, the most base version of that is just sarcasm, where it's like, I don't mean it. But like the way you perform the words, it is informing the logic of the joke, which makes the joke work.
Yeah.
But I still wish I was better at the mathy parts too.
There's still like that sense of surprise where you planted some seeds in the beginning and then at the end they're in a new light. But when we've talked about it before, it almost sounded like you saying like, I brain dump myself in my journal and then I just don't even, you know, I just go up and it's like, it's in my subconscious and I just try to find it. But I guess I'm asking like, do you kind of think, you know, when you do kind of have a sense of the structure, like maybe or are you just going up and you've like, I don't know if this is a clear question, but like, do you have a bit of a plan for new jokes these days?
I'm just trying. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm just trying to explain myself. And so like explaining yourself has a structure. You want to make sure that you're putting the details in the right order so that people don't misunderstand you. And that's not, it's not jokes, but it is like, I'm trying to explain a funny thing. I'm trying to explain, oh, this was interesting to me. Can I explain it in the way that it was interesting to me to you? And sometimes you want to like turn it up. Sometimes you like have an idea and you want to like express it in like a unique way where you like turn the idea upside down. I'm getting away from myself. But
the thing that's interesting, I mean, do you have some kind of like a meter that, I mean, like for me lately, I've been like, if something just happens where somebody laughs, you know, I'll kind of maybe write that down. And I've heard people, you know, some comedians are like, when you're annoyed, that's when the alarm should go off, you know? Do you have like a little like meter that when you're running through your life going, oh, this feels like it could be comedy? Or is it just like, I'm interested in this topic. Let's see if I can make it funny.
I mean, that's always been my thing about like, what is the funniest thing that's happened to you this week, which I came up with before the guy from Good One came up with it. Is like, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but like the funniest thing that that happened to you this week always has a different structure than the funniest thing that happened to you last week. Things that happen in life aren't structured as set-up punchline. They all have like their own organic thing.
Right.
And if you can explain the organic shape of the thing, then if you explain, that's what makes each joke different from the other jokes, is that like I'm not repeating myself because life doesn't repeat itself.
You're not starting with joke formulas. You're starting with life.
I'm starting with life.
And then the patterns and structures will just emerge on their own, but differently because life is messy and
right. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, I mean, I think sometimes to like fix somebody's joke is just you like, what's funny about it? Are you explaining what's funny about it? I think that's like a great place to start with. Like, okay, well, obviously you want to talk about this thing. What's funny about it? Take out the phrase, "That's funny because," and then like you have you have the bit. I think
I like that. Because I do, that was what I was thinking is like, don't explain it though. You got to show it without explaining it, or there's some.
But then like sometimes, yes, I underwork it. It's undercooked, and so like I will do like the funny thing that happened to me this week, and then I'll like take it to the workshop that we have on Tuesdays, hosted by Blake Hammond at Go Bananas. It'll just like be like, okay, the thing that happened to you is funny, but like, what's the bit? And so like, I think the second step is like, let's put like a bit in there. So like the thing I'm thinking of specifically is like 1 week, tax week, the week my taxes were due, I went to the zoo to get my W-2 or whatever the form's called. And I still had my badge from when I worked at the zoo. And so I was like, well, I don't want to pay for parking, so I'll park on the street where I used to park, and I'll go in through the employee gate if my badge still worked. And so I swiped my badge, didn't work, and then I swiped my badge at every gate leading to the front of the zoo. And by the time I got to the front of the zoo, security was waiting for me. And then they I could tell they were trying to de-escalate me, even though I wasn't escalated. They're like, "Do you want to sit in the shade?" I go, "I guess I'll sit in the shade." But everybody, I take it to the workshop, and everybody's so good at yes, anding the bits. That's what workshop is for. Oh, maybe you could take it this direction. Maybe you could take it this direction. So what I am bad at is taking it a direction, I guess. Yeah. It's well, take it a direct. Are you trying to steal one of the animals? Did you fall in love with one of the birds? What's something you could add to this already funny thing that heightening's important in comedy, I guess.
I'd struggle with that. It's the truth is just what happened is enough, but then also zooming out or taking it somewhere or making it more of a different thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think what I usually try to do is just go, maybe there's another thing that I can just connect to it, but then that feels like I'm getting out of it early, and so you want to ring all the laughs you can out of it.
All the laughs you can. You want to show that you're more mentally nimble than the audience. You want to you didn't even fucking think about this.
But you know what I mean?
Idiots. But I'm so good at this that I was there. I made it. I made this. Yeah. And so that is also a thing I'm bad at is I go, I did it.
Yeah. Every bit's 90 seconds, and it's a bunch of 90-second jokes. Damn, it'd be nice if there was a good 5-minute. I still love Nate Bargatze's early story about them biting the hamburger at McDonald's, and I'm just man, I wish I could just do 6 of those for 30 minutes instead of 50.
Right.
Short jokes.
But there is something, I think about that a lot, where it's okay, I do like all of my 90-second jokes, and I like that,
yeah.
I maybe it's not even I like my jokes. It's I don't like it. There's a type of headliner who can fills their time by just pressing the same button over and over again in a bit. They found a funny thing, and they just they really just sort of go into the well over and over to get that same laugh for the bit for 4 minutes. And you go, well, you didn't really add any stuff to it. And this isn't writing. This is sort of, I don't know, hitting them
one
over
trick
the head.
pony.
Yeah, it's a little one trick pony, and I'm thinking of somebody
and
specific, so I don't want to say. But
instead of showing a range of, and especially as a comedian who's just seen it so much, you're extra going to be whereas a more general audience might not even realize they're laughing at the same pattern.
There's somebody I like who does it. It's Greg Warren, and he has a special on Nateland. He's very funny.
I saw him last year, and I was thinking of him earlier because we were talking about the how you start a set and trying something new. And I remember he came out and he just went straight into it. Was just I got an electric car, and he didn't spend any time. Yeah, and it was he had packed the place, and they were there for it, and it was great. And I was you can just come out and be here's my first joke, and it's a strong one. And then he just kept doing it, and he did an hour 15, 90 minutes. He pushed it to 2 hours, and they stayed with him, and it was all right. It was just he didn't do any crowd work. He didn't do nothing besides just the material.
He didn't ask people what kind of peanut butter they ate.
There might have been a few tricks like that where it's it was clearly a written bit, and he's there's 3 ways it could be answered, and he had done it. But yeah, I mean, but you knew he was just a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, he's great, but there's something in there that I don't like, where it is just oh, this character's going on a little bit long, or
he definitely did some voices where I'm a younger audience might be he's doing clearly a black guy voice,
Flute Man.
But it was
it's good.
Yeah,
he knew a guy who sounded like that.
Yeah, he wasn't saying anything racist, but I was this would be nervous at the odd, I understand these old people are having a good time and not hateful, and I came from the odd earlier this week.
Yeah,
what an interesting thing to be this age where I can understand both.
Right. Yeah. But hopefully they'd like him.
It must be interesting to go do a workshop in a place where, you can go do that with such, I imagine it's just very different than Asheville. You have whatever that region of comedy and those strong comics are, yes-anding you. That must be really cool having done the workshop here. And now you're getting to go be on some other team
Yeah.
with a different flavor.
Different flavor is good. Different flavor is a positive thing. One of the things that I think the workshop benefits from half of the year is that half of the year it is on the main stage of the Go Bananas Comedy Club, and it's like you can't see the feedback givers, and they sort of know that, and everybody's sort of in a more giving mood when it's a little more anonymous. Obviously, you know your friends' voices, but then sometimes so the workshop's on Tuesday nights, and half of the year the funniest person in Cincinnati competition is on Tuesday nights. And so we have to go upstairs in the office, and we're all like huddled together, and we can see each other, and it's a little less free. But by and large, it's like a very helpful thing. And it's the same thing that I liked about the workshop here, is where it's like, I'll sacrifice one of my jokes on the altar of feedback so that I can think about other people's jokes for an hour and a half. So we can all like work. It's like an hour and a half of thinking about jokes. You shouldn't just think about it as like, this is good for my joke for the 5 minutes I'm up there.
Totally. And that's like, I think that's the way I've thought about most of the first decade of comedy. I'm really excited about, you know. You got me really excited about that when we talked in January about it's fun to see who the new guys are, and it's cool to be at the odd. And I was like, yeah, this is like, it's good. It's good in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
And that contra dance kind of like, I'm a part of an anthill. I'm disappearing into the swarm of insects, and that's actually has a very stabilizing quality. Being a lone wolf and doing these long drives, talking to yourself in the car.
Yes,
it could be maddening. I mean,
yes.
You need to balance that with a team and community and support.
Yeah, I agree with that. So my goal is to go out of town more, but I still like think it's very good to like. I sit up front at the Monday night open mic at Commonwealth Comedy Club, and I just sort of laugh at everybody. And I think it's like, yeah, it's just good to participate in the group activity of comedy and not just the solo act of comedy.
Yeah, and that getting farther along, I mean, I've heard this on podcasts a lot, that it gets more lonely, you know, that like you can just kind of be out more alone. And I guess if you're in a position where you actually can do the tour the way you want, you can bring your own people with you, and you're laughing in the green room, and that can be
right. But
I'm going to break even at best. I don't have enough money to.
Yeah.
Actually, we are doing the podcasts in the car are kind of like that. We have kind of created a little bit of that where I'll get to talk to Cloud or a Ryan, you know, in the car for a few hours. And that does create it is cool talking to like Sarah Love for like 4 hours in a car on the way to and back from Charlotte, instead of just like maybe spiraling on some, you know, she'll keep me from getting some rut. Right.
Or like, I mean, I think when Ryan Gordon said that like he writes a lot in the car, like the material just comes to him, I go, man, I wish I would put my phone away, and like I wish I didn't listen to podcasts the whole time. I really admire somebody who can just like stare out into the road and just like be with their own thoughts, which I can, but I just don't.
Yeah.
It's like that first impulse to just like put your phone in the back seat and just like, I'm not going to listen to podcasts. I'm going to have my own thoughts for 2 hours. Yeah, which I should do more of.
And you won the funniest.
I won the funniest
right?
person in Cincinnati last year.
That's how'd that feel?
It felt good. I tried really hard. I think probably the most interesting thing is like the night of the finals or the day of the finals when I'm trying to come up with a set list, and I'm trying to come up with a set list where I don't repeat material, because like that was like they weren't really knocking you on it, but
how
it was
long
important
are we talking?
to me.
We're talking like short 4 minutes.
7-minute sets for the semi-pro round.
And how many in all how many 7 minutes?
3. So 21 minutes.
And you didn't repeat anything in there?
I repeated one joke.
Oh,
the whole time.
That's great though.
Yeah.
So you did the thing we were talking about earlier, where you're not going.
Yeah.
Here's the same 7 minutes. I mean, maybe that was a requirement even.
It wasn't a requirement. Okay. I did ask the Phil, who organizes the contest now. I was like, "Do you have to repeat material?" He goes, "You might be you might be knocked for it, but you can. You're allowed to."
Did you feel like you had a sense of like, I did my best first 7 minutes, and then the next bet, or is it you don't really think about your material that way, where it's not like?
I think about it that way, and it was like a fun challenge to like, okay, what after you use your best 14 minutes, what of your next 7 flows together? Because that's where I was like handicapping myself. It was like I have 21 minutes of good material, but like how it flows together is also like important.
The 7 strongest sets, and obviously the first one, it's like if you want to advance, it's almost like what is the best 7 minutes I have today, and then the next time, what's the next 7 still remaining?
And you're going up against better people each time. So like I could have done worse material in the first round and still probably moved on and like saved the good stuff for last. But I would say, so the thing that I learned the day of is like I was going, okay, when I was looking at the material, I was like, okay, if comedy contests were fair, which they aren't, just based on you can invite people and you might go first, which sucks. You might go last, which sucks.
Right.
If comedy contests were fair, and everybody had an equal chance of winning and was in front of an equally hot audience, each contestant, what would lose it for me? And I came to the conclusion that like I'm a little sterile, like I'm a little human sterile. They go, there's not a lot of the jokes in my last 7 minutes weren't like relatable.
You're kind of an alien.
I'm a little
observing
alien.
Humanity. You're not like the everyman. It's me up there. You're kind of this guy that's like, whoa, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, no, I just started working at the sewer, so like the 3 sewer jokes I had were like, I'm down there, which isn't true. I'm not down there. But
it's funny to say.
But it's funny to say. Yeah, I go. People always ask me, "How's the sewer?" I go, "Great. Everything you guys got up here, we got down there," which is funny, but it's also like this guy's weird. And so like that was like the big challenge the day that I was coming up with that set list was like, where's like the human part of this? Where's like the relatable? Where's the like the relatable man part?
Do you need it though?
I mean, I think sometimes to like, just to like get your hooks in them a little more.
Like Stephen Wright. I mean,
Stephen Wright's great. I'm not Stephen Wright. I'm like a guy.
I think you're a little bit, even though you don't do short jokes. I think you a little are like an alien from another world.
Maybe.
And that's kind of part of it. Is like, did he just get off a ship? Like,
yeah.
I never heard somebody quite see humanity this way.
Yeah, but I mean, there is like, we started the conversation talking about it. There's like there can be like people who don't like thinking that way in the audience,
right?
And like I've written about it. I've seen like Emo Phillips where like there are like Gen X audience members who like they're like the most normal people in the world and they love their weird one thing from the 80s that they remember. You know, like they're like a normal, they're just like a normal person and they love this weirdo. And so like I could be that. But in case that sort of generous person isn't in the audience, you're like, I'm normal, but I like this weird guy. You just want to have like, oh, he's a little bit like me.
I guess like you're working in clubs and stuff now, so that probably lends itself to more like you need to kind of appeal to a general audience. But for like the, making it, or for like, I think competitions like stand out as you almost have the 3 like white Ryans that all did well, and it splits those 3 votes. Yeah. Whereas like, I
benefited
the
from
sassy black lady or whatever, just
yeah.
to be a total stereotypical person. It's like it stands out, and
for sure,
that's almost like I feel like I in general just don't want to be like Tom Hanks or whatever, like the everyman, where it's like, no, it's pretty good. It was all made sense, and it was like to have 20% of the people be like, I hated him. Is good. Like I kind of almost want more of that. But I think working in clubs at this level and doing just don't tells, and is like it does kind of always nudge you more towards like being a generalist and being an everyman, and that might be at odds with like the end goal of finding your voice and standing out, whether that's in the algorithm or like the eventual dream that I flip flop about whether I say it to myself or not. Like people bought a ticket.
Yeah,
they said Ryan Cox on it. I think being an alien.
Yeah. Do you write material that where 20% of people can hate it? You could try.
No, I mean, I think I want to be liked probably more than is good for me. I mean, I don't. I really don't. I want everyone to feel safe and have a good time.
You don't think you could put something a little caustic in every one of your 15-minute chunks?
Psychedelics and weed, and hey, my daughters are bitches. Like those are the moments where I go, ooh, I don't know. I'm edgy, you know, but really I'm not. And that's why going to the Odd and seeing Worth makes me go like, I'm nowhere near upsetting anyone.
Yeah. Well, you should try it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what these conversations are good, because it's like, I'm putting what I do like next to this in these thoughtful discussions, and it's like, what is I'm also trying to work and get the longer sets. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess when you're running a meta campaign and you're going like, here's me, come to see me, that's probably the most where it's like, I should try to be a guy that's different. I should try to be a guy that like, what is weird about me that separates me from
you
the
got to
herd?
find like an intersection, I guess, if you're using your jokes as like an advertisement to come see you. You don't want to be so general that it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But so you want to like something, because like, who would I see ads for? Like a Beth Stelling. It's going to be a little snarky. You could probably like tell her point of view from the ad itself, so you wouldn't be disappointed if you go. But you also want to like, you want it to have like some sort of hook tonally.
Yeah, a brand.
It's hard to get. It's hard to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many pieces to it, And it's like, if you're just trying to say what happened this week that was funny and take it there, there's not a point where I go like, what is it what's my brand, until I start looking at the longer sets and the themes that emerge. And, like I want 40 minutes to be 4 10-minute acts. And I keep pulling those apart and putting them back together. And for me, that's like a interesting way of it. But then it's like, well, what are the 4 things? Because is it just the same shit that AI and how much of those things are like sewer, zoo? I mean, those are not things that most people are talking about. So that's like, I think looking at through that lens, that's already makes you a little bit of an alien, because your experience of the world is like things nobody else has lived, like done or talked about on the show.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of stuff to consider with that stuff, where it's like, how do people feel about the mental hospital? How do people feel about the zoo? How do people feel about... I mean, the sewer is the hardest because it's just bureaucracy. It's just a government job, which is like hard. And so like it's got to be more like office stuff, which is like pretty well tread, obviously, because of The Office. And
it's been 20 years though.
It's been 20 years, and I can.
It's not in the prime time now.
It's not in the prime time, but yes, you still want to do something original with the sewer, and I also do want to do like sort of not meta stuff, but like a little more pretending I work down there. some way to fuse working in the sewer with at the sewer is like compelling to me.
It does suck your soul, or it is hard, and that. It's a metaphor for like being knee deep in shit. Like you can play with the literal versus metaphorical.
I've said that before, maybe on the podcast, but like I told you that like I know the reel that you made of what I said, but there's also a joke that I do where I've worked. My last 3 jobs are mental hospital, zoo, and sewer, and it's rare to work at 3 jobs in a row that sound like metaphors for themselves.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. You didn't say it like that.
Yeah,
I think you just said that you will sometimes just literally write down those 3 things on a card and be like,
yeah,
this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's just because like I'm so sick of like I just like I know how to like if you handed me a microphone and said do 20 minutes right now, and no one cares if they've heard it before. Like no one's gonna be judging you for repeating yourself, having not written. No one's going to judge you for doing your 10-year-old Tootsie Roll bit. Then I could like write it immediately. But because like I'm trying to stretch myself, sometimes writing the set list is hard.
Yeah, I'm doing like a pulling my set apart and back together a million different ways for the wedding and leading up. And I wanted to tell you, I have a big 3 this time. Just this week I was at the beach and I was like, it makes sense to have a big 3 and to kind of it's like I'm not trying to close with it. I'm trying to like kind of get it early and be like, these are the big 3, and before and after it, there's more like new works in progress stuff. And and I was even kind of thinking like, there could be a few big 3s, like as you're trying to always do new material, you got these just like there's something. 3 is the magic number. Like you got 3 zingers that just work in a row, and you know how to like move and be loud and what the words are.
Right.
And it's like I'm thinking like 3 big 3s could almost carry me through a whole headliner set. Where you like each. Yeah,
you want to just like
between each of the 4 acts. There's a big 3 or something.
Reset. Yeah, it's a good reset. The big 3 is a good reset.
Yeah.
The big 3 is, I guess. No, it's. I used to have 3 jokes where I would like open loose, and then I would do 3 jokes that worked every time, and they really dialed people into who I was, and then I could do the rest of my set from there.
And now the way you're describing like the 3 jobs, like it's still kind of a big 3 on a different scale, you know?
Yes.
So there's something about this 3, you know?
There's some. Well, we're both big Jack White fans.
Yeah.
3 what was his 3 staples? The least number of staples you can.
I thought it was
hold
2.
a cloth
It's like
on.
2 people, and it's like peppermint. It's like red and white.
He loves vocals, guitar, and drums.
Okay, yeah.
He said 3. He was an upholsterer coming up, and so he said 3 staples is the least number of staples that you can use to hold on a piece of fabric. Red, black, and white. Coca-Cola, Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big 3 guy.
Father, Son, and the Holy
Father,
Ghost.
Son, and Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Zeusuer. Yeah, I think it's like I don't think people are so interesting that they have more than 3 things to say about themselves.
Yeah, and
that's what I
those
thought you were
3s
talking about when you said big 3, but I remember what you were talking about.
Yeah. So that was just something. It just emerged just on its own. Like it was stuck in there from like that was probably 1 or 2 years ago. We talked about that, and yeah.
I'm glad you found it. Not that anybody has to do comedy the same way, but I do think it's
a callback or a theme. I like it when things reemerge on their own.
Yeah.
You know, if I pulled it apart and put it back together in a million different ways, and I hope to keep doing that. And the big 3 just like emerged on its own. I was like, yeah. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
I just want to know who you are.
We are at like an hour 40 minutes. This is as big as a video file should ever be.
Okay. Sounds good.
But thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
When do you go back?
I'm gonna leave tomorrow afternoon.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we could do it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.